What's up, fam? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. In fact, I'm at the bus depot at Stillwater because, well, it's my last week of class and I kind of got like 3 essays to write and 2 short stories to write, and I still got some poems that I got to revise to turn in for my poetry workshop. So I'm a little busy. But you know I ain't gonna miss. I make one of these every day, fam. And today we're gonna get into which former offensive coordinator was hired by UCF to be their next head coach, and how being an offensive coordinator at Oklahoma is really good for your job prospects. We're also gonna talk about not just Baker Mayfield being one of the Heisman finalists, but what records that he set and broke and tied by becoming a Heisman finalist in 2017. We're also gonna talk about what Kirk Herbstreit had to say about Georgia fans traveling to the Rose Bowl. Oh yeah, fam, I almost forgot. I went over to Eskimo Joe's to clown Mike Gundy's new mural. And oh yeah, we're gonna talk about Rodney Anderson. And all of that's coming up after the bumper. If you're new to my channel, this is your first time here, consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always OU related, college football related, sports related. We have a good time, even when one of our players is involved with the law, which is something we got in common with you, UGA fans. So slow your roll, dogs. Alright, bumper.
Just snap the damn ball, RJ.
So former OU quarterback, offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach Josh Heupel was named the new head coach at Central Florida. Heupel replaces Scott Frost, who left to go back home to Nebraska to be their head coach. So Heupel inherits a really good UCF program that seems built for his version of the air raid. And we're finally gonna get to see what Josh Heupel looks like when he's the head man in charge. And his first hire was a really good one. He hired Randy Shannon as his defensive coordinator. And this is particularly cool because Randy Shannon is Florida made, Florida born, and he knows the state of Florida. He's a linebacker at Miami, he was defensive coordinator at Miami, he was defensive coordinator at Florida. So let's just say that he can recruit the state, which is what Josh Heupel's gonna be in need of most. He's gonna have to try to beat out Florida State, Florida Miami, Florida Atlantic, Florida International, and I'm sure there's some other schools that I just can't think of that he's really gonna have to beat because Florida is a talent-rich state. Bethune-Cookman, FAMU, Florida Gulf Coast, North Florida, Stetson, South Florida, Jacksonville, and that's just in the state. Just think about how many OU players come from Florida. Damn, fam, that's a lot. I know, right? He also becomes the latest in a line of offensive coordinators to become a head coach. Let's see if I can name all of the offensive coordinators who become head coaches under Bob Stoops. And go. Mike Leach, Mark Mangino, Kevin Sumlin, Chuck Long, Jay Norvell, Kevin Wilson, and oh yeah, some guy named Lincoln Riley. He's alright. I can hear it now, UGA fans be like, he ain't played nobody. Heupel's leaving his job as the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach at Missouri to take this job at Central Florida. Now, we at OU have a really mixed relationship with Josh Heupel. Loved him as a quarterback, not so much as an offensive coordinator. So much so that he got fired in 2015 to make way for this guy, you know, Lincoln Riley. He's alright. UGA fans be like, give us Baker Mayfield and we could win too. Josh Heupel's a Sooner. And he's one of the Sooners that put us back on the map. And I want to see him do good things down there in Central Florida. It's also interesting to note that this is his first head coaching job at any level, which means that if Josh Heupel had a chance to coach Pee Wee, he turned it down or wasn't invited. Real talk, I'm happy for you, Josh. We all are. So the next thing I want to talk about is Baker Mayfield, and what he's done is becoming one of the 3 Heisman finalists. And I hate that they included him in alphabetical order because, well, it's Baker's trophy, so put him first. But Lamar Jackson and Bryce Love are the other 2. Now, in becoming a Heisman finalist in 2017, Baker Mayfield did something that only Herschel Walker has done, in that he's finished in the top 4 of the voting 3 straight years, which is pretty ridiculous when you think about it. And what's interesting to note is that he's probably going to thwart Lamar Jackson's bid to become just the 2nd college football player ever to win 2 Heisman trophies. Baker's looking to become, or will become, the 6th Heisman Trophy winner in OU history, and its 3rd quarterback behind Jason White and Sam Bradford. Now, Kirk Herbstreit tweeted out that he'd heard from the Rose Bowl folks that the UGA fans are coming out in force. Later this morning, found out that the UGA fans had sold all of their ticket allotments, which means that they've already bought out their tickets, and we're already having to talk about how this is a road game for OU. Please. UGA fans, y'all must not know about Baker Mayfield's record on the road. Do ya? Do ya? Do ya? Your yard, their yard, his yard, which is a neutral yard. We're gonna bring those dogs to heel.
Get this mollywhopping, UGA.
It's just that simple. Let's go to Eskimo Joe's and go clown this mural, fam. Oh, you know I got to clown this. Mural says cowboy for life, but it seems like mediocre for life, right fam? $5 million raise for losing Bedlam and playing in the Camping World Bowl. Seriously, cut that thing off, looks like a dead squirrel. Nope, doesn't look better from this angle either. Real talk, 4,000 yard passer, 2 1,000 yard receivers, and a 1,000 yard rusher, and you still can't beat Oklahoma. I'm telling you, man, it's a good thing I'm getting a PhD in English, because That's how that go. All right, now since we have to talk about it, we're gonna go back to the live studio to get into Rodney Anderson and go. I hate that we have to have these conversations. I really want to just talk about football, but because Rodney Anderson is the star running back at OU, and I talk a lot about OU football, here we are. All right, fam, here are the facts. A victim's protective order, or what is also known as emergency protective order, was filed against Rodney Anderson on Monday night. For those of you who don't know, Rodney Anderson is a running back from Katy, Texas, who has been a force for OU this year. He has 960 yards rushing, he has 283 yards receiving, and 16 total touchdowns. You could say that he figured greatly into the plans of the OU football team as it heads into its January 1st game against Georgia in the Rose Bowl. But with a filing of this kind, that's all put on hold. We found out early Tuesday morning that the emergency protective order against Rodney Anderson accuses him of rape. However, no charges have been filed against Rodney Anderson. Norman police are investigating a complaint of rape by instrumentation. Then later this morning, Anderson's attorneys released a statement claiming that the allegations are patently false. In a written statement included with the protective order, the woman says she met Rodney Anderson at a bar on November 16th, which was 2 days before the Kansas game. Now I'm going to read you part of the statement that was filed. All I remember from that night was kissing him and vomiting for about 20 minutes. This past weekend, I was talking to a friend about the night and started recalling images. Now it gets a little bit more graphic from there, and this is a family-oriented channel, so if you want to read those graphic details, I'm putting a link to the story in the description below. Also along in the writing, the woman states, also in that statement, the woman says, I remember feeling like I couldn't get away. He knows where I live and I'm scared for my safety, which is the sole reason for why you would ask for an emergency protective order from the court. In a summary of the accusation released by the Norman police, Rodney Anderson, who's 21, is identified. Quote, an adult female reported that after an evening of drinking, she accepted a ride from an adult male acquaintance, the police summary states. After consensual kissing contact, she remembers waking without clothing. No injuries were reported as a result of this crime. A suspect has been identified. No arrests have been made. The incident is under investigation by the Criminal Investigations Division. Those are the facts. There's no opinion in there. That is what the police have said. That is what was written and filed with the courts in Cleveland County. All right, opinion time. Now, myself, being a former beat writer, I'm going to tell you that these kinds of stories are hard to run down right at this moment because you're not going to get in front of a police investigation. You will report what you can report by law and what the police and the courts are obligated to give you by law. So what I'm saying is, for OU, this puts them in a bind because they need to figure out very quickly what exactly is going on and what the courts and what the police have figured out so that they can take the proper action as it pertains to Rodney Anderson. Now look, with the Joe Mixon story not too far in OU's past, there's no wiggle room here. You have to get it right, and you have to get it right now. There's no way that you can talk about Rodney Anderson and this protective order without seeming like you're framing it for someone's side. It doesn't matter if your side is Rodney Anderson's or the alleged victim, unless you're their parents, in which case, you have a side. But as an OU fan, I want what's right to be done right. I want a thorough investigation. I want facts put forth. I want people who are paid to do this job of searching out the truth in a civil court, criminal investigation, Title IX investigation, to do their jobs and to do it to the best of their abilities. That's whose side I'm on. Be clear, be transparent, be fair. Otherwise, what are we talking about and why are we here? I love OU. I know you love OU too. And I don't want to see its name dragged through the mud any more than it already has. I want the best outcome for everybody involved. And if that's not something that you can deal with, I understand it and I don't hold it against you. But if you follow your morals and I follow mine, I think we're gonna be okay. That's what the family is. Family is disagreeing and continuing to have discourse about why we disagree. So I look forward to your comments and I look forward to responding to your comments. All right, that's it for me. If you like the videos, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you tomorrow. Deuces.